4-episode breadth into our in adapting such a The long-awaited Uzumaki anime adaptation produced by Adult Swim and based on cult classic horror manga has finally arrived, but with only 4 episodes to capture the intense terror of the source material. Fans have been eagerly anticipating this for years, ever since it was first announced in 2019. But does this mini-series live up to the legacy of one of the most iconic works of Japanese horror? The short answer is mostly yes, though with some caveat. The strapline for me for this would be a faithful but condensed adaptation. The manga Uzumaki is renowned for its atmospheric dread and grotesque imagery, following the story of a small Japanese town cursed by spirals leading into increasingly bizarre and horrifying events. From snail people to spiraling hair, JUNJI illustrations evoke a visceral skin-crawling reaction that feels inaccessible, and please forgive me for the pronunciation of his name. I always get it wrong. My dyslexia just kills my brain sometimes, so I apologize profusely. In adapting such an intricate and slow-burn horror narrative into only 4 episodes, the anime faces a serious challenge, condensing a sprawling and methodically placed story without losing its impact. Fans of the manga may notice that while many of the key moments are faithfully recreated, some of the tension building that made the original so terrifying is sacrificed for the sake of brevity. The anime doesn't have the luxury to linger on the slow escalation of the spiral staircases or the spiral manga everything spiral. Instead, it's a quick dive into the most iconic and gruesome moments, resulting in a tighter but perhaps less psychologically consuming experience. Uzumaki is this thick, so 4 episodes does boggle the mind as to what they were trying to do. Was it just a tantalizing taste? Is there more to come? One of the most exciting aspects of this adaptation is the art style, directed by Hiroshi Nagahama, I think I got that right. Their anime opts for a monochromatic aesthetic, paying direct homage to the pen and ink style of the original. It's a bold choice, giving the series an airy vintage horror feel that is rare in modern anime. Unlike typical color palettes, this black and white approach retains the scratchy texture and intricate line of the manga's panels, preserving a lot of that unsettling detail that makes Uzumaki so disturbing. That being said, however, while the manga's art has a meticulous, almost suffocating sense of detail, the anime's animation is necessarily more fluid and simplified at times. Some of the nightmarish imagery comes to life with remarkable effect, particularly in moments where the spirals slowly engulf the screen, but there are instances where the minimalism of the animation struggles to capture the same level of grotesque horror. And I feel like that comes down to pacing. Well, the anime's pacing can also feel more rapid due to this approach, as scenes don't dwell as long on the horrific imagery. Fans who have pored over every tiny detail in the creator's illustrations may miss the oppressive senses of stillness and dread that the original panels convey. The motion of the animation can dilute some of the frozen terror of the original, although Nagahama's team does its best to counteract this by framing the shot like the panels as well at key moments, which helps retain some of the manga's atmosphere. One area where the anime truly shines is its sound design. The airy ambient soundtrack by composer Colin Stetson adds an otherworldly texture to the series. Stetson's score leans into the unsettling drones and dissonant tones that perfectly complement the spiral's hypnotic design, the spiral's hypnotic unavoidable pulls. The sound design enhances this with grotesque sound effects, heightening horror during transformations and encounters with the supernatural. Unlike the silent dread of reading the manga, here the audio immerses the viewers in a nightmare, the creaking, slithering sounds of spirals, giving the story an added layer of unease that was missing in the manga's pages. Although I could counteract that by saying some of the visuals in the manga definitely have a sound to them. However, the shortness of the series feels like a missed opportunity. At only 4 episodes, this Uzumaki adaptation feels incredibly short. The decision to condense such a sprawling and iconic horror tale into a mini-series is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, It means that the story avoids filler and delivers an intense, fast-paced narrative packed with key moments. On the other hand, it feels like there was so much more to explore. Fans of the manga may be left wanting an entire section for more stories, and some secondary characters are just glossed over or just omitted. The series' brief runtime means that while it captures the essence of Uzumaki, it doesn't allow for the same gradual build-up of the existential dread that the manga's length allows it to do, slowly spiraling out of control, trapping its readers in a slow descent into madness. I remember the first time I read Uzumaki, I was absolutely enthralled and horrified. There was an existential dread that I was having, maybe not so existential. I don't remember a manga making me feel as such quite like this, and the series definitely doesn't do that. The anime, however, takes a more direct route to the climax, sacrificing some of the creeping horror that made the original so iconic. For viewers unfamiliar with the source material, the anime's abrupt pacing might be disorientating, though the visuals will likely still make an impact. This is a spiraling descent into madness, but short-lived. Overall, Adult Swim's Uzumaki is a visually striking and mostly faithful adaptation of the creator's masterpiece. Its art direction and sound design are top-notch, capturing the eerie atmosphere of the manga through the brief episode count, which seems to leave a lot on the cutting room floor. Hardcore fans of the manga may find themselves wishing for a longer, more expansive adaptation that allows for a deeper immersion into the story's growing horrors. That being said, as an introduction to this world for new viewers, the Uzumaki anime is a worthy effort. Its unique animation style and unsettling tone are enough to draw you in, even if it doesn't fully appreciate the slow suffering horror of the original. With only 4 episodes, it's a quick, intense watch that leaves a lasting impression, though one that might make you want to revisit the manga to experience the full scope of its horror. I highly recommend that you do. It's incredible. The artwork is stunning, to say the least. You can see one of my read-throughs. So, all in all, this was an interesting ride. I am a bit disappointed, but I can't help but think that anybody that hasn't experienced the world of the manga could watch this anime and then go, yeah, I want more of this, and go and buy the manga. For that reason, I'm going to give it 3 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one.
If you like my reviews and found it informative and fun to watch, and don't want to miss anything else that I produce similar to this, then please hit that like, subscribe, comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite from this author? Because I've read a few and I think they're fantastic, super dark, but just the art style and the stories are just bonkers, and I love that. So Uzumaki is one that I highly recommend. You can see here Goyo is one as well, which I thought was excellent. And this one is even weirder than most. Yeah, it is sensual. So let me know, what are your favorites? What else should I read? Leave your choices down below, and I'm sure we can all give each other some more manga to read. Thanks so much, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long Tuesday.